Hello friends, welcome back. This is full stack development video series and we're building online course enrollment application, and this is episode 8. In this video I will walk you through how you can configure the lifetime free Azure SQL, and we will also talk about the network settings, SSMS connections and database setups, all of those things in the video. So without delay, come let's get started. So I'm going to show you how you can set up the free Azure SQL Server, but trust me, this has some limitations, like you cannot use beyond a certain limit of SQL at one point of time, so it will pause to not to incur any cost for you. However, I have two solutions for you. Watch till end of the video and I'll explain you what are the other two options to keep you free in the Azure. Alright, so log into the portal.azure.com. I have logged in with my email ID. I hope you have an account already. If not, just create a free account, right? Now, if you go and see, there are multiple things that you can do. You can do a SQL Server, SQL database. Basically, a SQL database can reside only in a SQL Server. Okay, server it's required, only then you can first create a database itself. Now whatever you're seeing is I already have a server and I already have some database. Let's create from first, right? Search with SQL database and you will land here. See, create SQL database. You can see clearly I have not used this offer, that's why it is showing up. If you haven't used this per subscription, this is free for per subscription only one time. So if I apply the offer, basically they are saying this free 1 lakh a week or seconds is free and all of those things, right? Now we will start with the basic information, the subscription and then the resource group. So I'm going to create a resource group based on the applications to keep all of the resources together. So online course RG, this is the first Azure resource that we are creating for this online course enrollment application. Now if you look at this, this is our database name. So I'm going to keep the database name as is it. You can do whatever you want to name it. Now the next one is the server. Like I said, server is required. We need to first configure the server. So I'm going to create a server, and it clearly says it has to be a lowercase. So let me give everything as lowercase, and then once you do this, there will be a check mark coming up, which means everything is correct. So in our case, I wanted to keep it unique, so probably I will add LSC, which is learn smart coding in the front. See, this becomes a tick mark. So that is our server name, and I'm choosing a location based on the offer that you availed, right? So that offer that we availed, it is not in East Coast, so I'm going to choose West Coast. That's absolutely fine, right? This is just for your understanding purpose. Watch till the end of the video. I'll give you other two options to keep you free. Now SQL Server is authenticated based on 3 types. You see this? One is Enter ID base, which is Azure only can use it within the Azure. The second one is Azure as well as the SQL authentication, and we will go with the third one because we need the username password to connect this from our local also. I'm going to give admin login username and a password, right? So when you do this, don't forget to save this. I have saved it in my notepad. Now if you come back, see, this is the predefined thing that is selected, which is given as free for us. Okay, you see this based on what is there. This is the option. There are two options now. When you choose this, you can pause the database when the limit is fulfilled. Okay, which means they don't take any amount from you. As soon as the free limit is done per month, done, it will pause the database. You cannot access the database. The other option is you can also use to pay as you finish the free usage. But okay, we don't do it. We select as free, and then the next one's networking. Basically you need to able to access this from the public endpoint also, like from our local also you should be able to access it. So I'm going to choose a public endpoint, and then there are two more options, right? See, private means you cannot do, so I have to go with the public. And here firewall rule, network firewall rule. Firewall rule is like a blocker, like it will protect your server. So basically there are two options. One is we're saying, hey, Azure to Azure, can we use it? If you say yes, any Azure resource can use. But think of this, if you also have Azure resource, can I allow you to use? No, right? That's why I will say no. Can I allow the current public IP, like my current IP, which is my system IP? Yes. It's going to add it by default. Now, once you configure those things, and then security, you say no. you can click on the ledger database and you go inside this and disable it. We don't really need it. Right, we don't need to store the digest because this is our basic application. We're not like really doing any business here, so we don't need to have those traces and all for the database. So once you have these configuration ready, and we will go to the additional settings. See, can I use the sample database? No, we are going to create it. We just need the database, right? Come to the tag is for tracking purpose. If you have some resource, if you want to know where it's getting built or how it is utilized, this tags is going to help you. Okay, anyway, our resource is free, but you should know as you progress with the Azure, you should know why tags are used. So I'm going to tag this as the application and the application name, and you see this estimated cost is 0. Like I said, only because of the offer I used. Okay, so you can also do the same thing. Like I said, end of the video, I will definitely let you know without this what you can do to make it free and easily up and running in the database, like in the server. So deployment is in progress. It takes some time. Let's go to the resource. It's done. Here you see this server name. You need to copy the server name. This is our unique server name, which is our SQL server name. Okay, so lsc-online course.database.windows.net is the server name. I copied it. If you go to connection string, you can see connection string for various application, for Java, for ODBC, PHP, Go language, everything. So we're going to use the ADO.NET, so SQL authentication. So we need to use the second one. The second one is the one that we need to copy. But if you see closely, the password is not given. I will be replacing my password that I saved in my notepad. Okay, so I'm going to copy this connection string, keep it in my notepad, so you also do the same thing. Now let's go to overview. So you can see other informations here. You can see what is the free amount, like 1 lakh week or seconds remaining. So which means like seconds means how many hours, probably 24 hours or something. Based on the usage, it will get utilized. Anyway, so now what will happen is if you go to the Azure SQL Server, basically database or SQL Server, you will see that the server that we created. You see this? I have an existing server. I have another server. The two servers. Okay, so great. Now what we will do, if you go to the security, go to server and go to security networking, whatever I'm hovering is my computer IP. Basically, if you have not done that during the configuration, you can come here and say add my IP and you can specify IP. Why do we need this? Because this IP is now allowed, which means when I try to connect from my local, this one SSMS, right, I will be able to connect. In the second video, we saw the database design. We know how to install this SSMS and all of those things. So click on connect. You specify the connection, the server name. You remember lsc-online course.database.windows.net. That is what you need to copy paste, and then you select the authentication as SQL Server authentication. Login is your username and the password, and make it as trust and try to connect. See, right now it is not connecting because I did a mistake in the SQL Server name. I copy pasted literally the server also. That's not the right name, right? See, the moment I put it correctly, because the IP is enabled, I was able to connect. Remember, if you get an error, your IP is not enabled in the server's security settings firewall. You need to add it. Now we have the database here, right? If you go here, only simple database is going to come. Here we are going to run our script and make sure the tables and all of the other stuff are added. So I'm going to take the script that I have it in the project. You can also have it, you can take it from the github.com. So once you have these things, we're gonna execute it. So the tables gets created and you can see all the tables got created. Great. I'm gonna run the insert commands to get the data also. See, data got executed. I'm gonna execute the rest of the stuff. All good. So I have the sample data till we put the real data. We have some sample data. Great. So now if I could try to select any of the table from this database, so I selected this table and I can see the data that I executed. Great. Alright, so now what we will do is we will try to connect this database from our application. So I know already the connections thing. I'm opening up the project that we already have. We built the endpoints, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this app settings for development.json. See, remember, development.json is for development, but it's okay since I'm running it from local. I'm going to just replace this connections thing to see it is connecting now to the Azure SQL Server. If I run it, if it has connected properly, I should get the data back. Great, data is coming. So which means from my local IP, like from my system, if I do all of these things, I'm able to talk to the database, which is in the Azure SQL. So you can see the data is coming, so which is good. All right. As I promised, I told you there are two ways to do it. Let me tell you honestly, right? See, this 1 lakh seconds is nothing but n number of hours. I think it's less than 24 hours or 32 hours if I calculate, right? So basically what happens is this will get paused when you don't access the database. This is okay for starting, but if you really wanted to keep doing this, depending on your country, the database cost will differ. For people who are in US, the bare minimum that you need to pay per month is $5, which is, if I equivalently see in India, it's 400 rupees. But if you select something from India, maybe the cost is different. Let me know if you find out how much it is. I will not be able to find out, but you can find out based on the region that you select. Now, the second thing, right? Let's say you cannot afford anything. You still need to have free. There is one way you can do. There is something called in-memory database caching. So we can set up our .NET Core Web API to have the inbuilt in-memory content, which means whatever you see as a preloaded content, we can always make sure that is loaded as a sample data when the application is booted. Remember, what the only drawback with that is you do any operation, it is maintained. But if you restart your server, like in your application, then all the data will be lost. It will only have whatever you configure to have it. That's the only drawback. But for people who don't want to invest anything but wanted to learn, that will be the good option. Let me know in the comment section if you're interested with that. I will make a video of how to do a in-memory database caching. Alright, so this is the video all about this episode. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, do subscribe to my channel. Continue to watch this series. You will definitely be a very good full stack developer at the end of the course. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more tech tutorials. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Happy coding!